so that's actually how VLC sees that. If we play that back, okay, with this, almost hollow effect. Let's put something more colorful. That one. Let's go to the seaside for a second. Let's find something more. Just change the tune because that one's getting too, you know. Go back to the original one. Okay. Now this is that original film, data moshed, and then played back in the video player quick play. Now, even though you're getting what you got before, this strange grey thing, you also get colours being produced by the hex editing process again, as you can see. Okay, cool. Better sound this time. Now, what should we play after that? Thank you. I like the simplicity of black and white because it just, for some reason, it just works best with this technique. That's the full desktop there as well. Okay, so we'll just get out of that and see if there's anything else we can... Not that. This is in colour, isn't it? Try that one. There's not really much going on with that. See, some films work, some don't. You just have to work out which ones do. I don't know exactly why that is. No, that's do that. Let's try an ad break. It won't play WebM, but actually, yeah, You get this really strange effect when you try and open the WebM with this player. You see it's almost like... how would I describe that? I mean, it's trying to play back WebM. It doesn't know what it is. So it almost looks like a waveform captured by an oscilloscope or something like that. So now I have the machine there live, I can actually show you this. Except it's dropped off at the bottom, hasn't it? Yeah, you can't really see that very well. If I actually minimise that, that'll be better. Yeah, there. You should be able to see it now. So as I say, this is actually a video file being played back, but it just can't cope with it, so it tries, but whatever it's doing, it just doesn't know how to treat it. It's just as if it's doing a slit scan on it, which is odd. So we'll stop playing that one. And... oh, I wonder if that, because I've got a hex edited file. No, the hex edited file is basically the same. Oh well, mysteries, life's mysteries. Right, so let's try this one. This is more like a tree kind of storm thing. Yeah. Right, yes, that would make sense, yeah. I've looked for this application online and I haven't found it anywhere but in this distribution. What else can we play? Oh yeah. So this is the next bit is actually Midtown Madness being replayed in quick play. It's gone funny again. Oh no, skipping CD, stop skipping. Yeah, so you get some really gorgeous textures with this method, so I've never found a way to replicate it other than this. And it doesn't want to play. Yeah, that'll do for now. Skip, 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 skip. Yes. Yes. It's my favourite tune, definitely. Right, so that's Legacy OS 2017. So I'm going to put on a different video, then fire up a different operating system. Probably Legacy OS Mini 4, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. How big is it? Yeah, we'll play that one. So we'll go back to this file here now. Right. So as I say, I'm now going to swap to a different operating system and see if we can get it to actually do what I want it to do. Which is always, you know, one of those things. Yeah. Let's escape from that. Okay, unmount that. Just remember, folks at home, if you've got an NTFS drive, always remember to unmount it, because otherwise you get into a whole load of problems. Okay, we're just going to fast reboot that. It's interesting, the sound's actually going a bit flaky there as well. How can I tell? I just can't. Okay. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I can actually hear that. Oh, that's okay. I'm fine with static. It could just be the... Right. It could be interference from all the other computers around it, to be honest. Oh, that's better. Or it could have been when I actually made the track in the first place. That's also possible. I'm not the best recording engineer, I'll guarantee you that. Oh, it's the CD, isn't it? Yeah, it's the way it's working, yeah. Well, I did take it apart and poke it, so it may not have liked that. Yes. So I'm just waiting for this other operating system to boot up. I'll just leave that video playing there until this is ready. Copying to RAM. How often have I seen that? If anybody wants to know the film, it's actually the original Phantom of the Opera with, is it Lon Chaney? Yeah. Ooh, what are they? Okay, we've got yeah, USB. QWERTY, USA, Xorg. And again, we're going to have to type that in LCD panel. We will go for that. Okay, now. Okay. Right, okay, so let's do B1. Up, up. Okay, right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap back to different operating system. I'll explain what I'm doing as we go along. So exit from that video. It'll take a few seconds for that to show up. Okay. Right. So when it actually flicks up, I'll start talking about what I'm going to be doing with this. Okay, so just pause the sound there for a second. Wait for that to go over. So this is one of the operating systems that I use. It's called Legacy OS 4 Mini. Now this was really, I suppose, the start of what I wanted to do live. But anyway, so you can start this operating system live off the CD, and if you have a specially crafted file, I'll show you what happens. So we'll just play this one video now. Notice the desktop is completely off, it being a bit shonky because this is across the internet, and it's very low resolution as well. So as I said, I need to get that capture card. But anyway, so using the, I'm going to play this one file that I have here, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Not with that file player though. You have to actually open it with a slightly different file player. So if we open up KM Multimedia Player, we're just going to find that as a source. Okay, so go to Storage Media. Be a lot of okay, right, so I just have to find the right folder for that. It's a bit tedious to begin with, but right, so what we're going to do is as soon as I get this video to play, I'll end the playback of it, and then just notice the desktop is completely ordinary now, okay? Yeah, so we play that file, it go a bit winky-wonky, that's just now, if we go back to the desktop, you can see the desktop has actually completely changed. There's a bit of a lag, so I'll just wait for that to happen. Okay, so this is it trying to play back that file. And when we go back to the desktop, we see this, and you can see the colorization in the background. Now, every file that we play afterwards, I'll just go and find something here. Play, so yeah, we'll go for horror workout. If that's, will that one actually work? Yeah. And now, if we just flick through that a bit, yeah, so we basically get this color effect, which is quite mad. That was completely unexpected, completely by accident. I think we'll just flick past that bit because that's a bit gratuitous. I forgot about that scene. I do try to be appropriate. It's the horror workouts! Oh no, I've got the sound back. Okay, we'll just start from the beginning of that track. Okay. I'm just checking that's the right track. Yeah. So as you can see, the colors have gone completely mental. And I use this process a lot in my work. So I basically set up a video I like on one computer, record it back to the other one, which is basically what you're seeing here. But it's not the same kind of level of detail that I'd see ordinarily. Alright, we'll just escape from that and find something more interesting to play. So this is one of the films. Again, I'll play this because this is kind of beautiful. So you can see, actually, it's slightly different to the playback we get in a different player. So this is a black and white film, but you can see the tones that you can get. This is more kind of outlined. So even with different combinations of operating systems and graphics cards, as I was saying when we were testing this out, this is an ATI HD3650, which is a bit earlier than the other ones. So it turns black and white into this strange kind of colorized kind of thing. Yeah. So this is slightly different to the operating system I was showing at first when I started up the stream a while back, because it doesn't colorize everything so much in a black and white film. It just gives you these edges and these kind of odd patches of color here and there, and it's kind of different. I mean, I'd go on to record this and then work with this a lot more. I suppose we could do that live, but I'm loath to do it with the recorder working in the background. I don't want to lose the connection. The next bit with the face is beautiful. I kind of have to be mindful I'm running about 10 seconds or 20 seconds ahead of what you're seeing. Yeah, so here we see the face. Just the oily kind of shadows and things you get. It's very peculiar. Again, as I say, this is all live. There's no additions to this. There's no hex editing. This is just as a product of the way the operating system interacts with the card. Right, so let's just find something a bit more colourful on that, because we do like colour. Yeah, so this is the other film we downloaded the other day. This is called The Pix. Yeah. So this is a colour film as opposed to a black and white one. It's not a great colour film, but it kind of gets improved by the process. I think, anyway. You should be seeing some more detail in a moment. Yeah, there we go. I think we'll change the track because that one got a bit... Okay, that's good. Yes, it's another band from my treasure trove of obscure bands. leave this running for a couple of minutes because I like the colours that are coming up. You haven't seen them yet, but yeah, here we go. So with this film, because it's colour, it's just reading the colour in a really peculiar way. As you can see. And again, I'd probably record this and then kind of take it and chop it up and hex edit bits and pieces here and there. Usually to WebM, I'd say. Now, I think we'll probably go into one final operating system, so let's find a film I can play in the background while I'm doing that. Yeah, that one. So I've just switched back to another film that I've recorded before. This is a similar process again, but actually before I do that, what I'm going to do. Okay, so we'll go back to Okay, so we've gone back to the film. Something really interesting about this operating system. Even though the graphics are actually corrupted, as you can see there. Now, if you actually exit out of the display manager by doing this, you'll see some really weird flashing stuff. And we'll go back to X Windows. Yeah. And you can see the display will be completely ordinary. That'll happen in a second. I can hear the CDs stuck again. Sorry about the flickering there. It is a very naughty CD player, yes. So the beauty of this one is that even though you can corrupt the display manager, you can actually exit back out and restart the display manager and get back the original colour. I'm just going to play with the CD player for a second. Why is it stuck so much? Let's go back to the beginning because that's far more tuneful on that CD. Yeah, there we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a different video now and then reboot the computer into the other operating system. So that's going to be, yeah, I'm going to play this one for a moment. What I could actually do is, yeah, that's okay. Oh yeah, I did, yeah. Control Alt and backspace. It works like a charm. So what we'll actually do now is we'll play that film, and what we're going to do is, how big is that? Right, it's not huge, so what we'll actually do is I just have to recall something. Okay, it's desktop. So see this now. Remember the other day I was talking about bash history. Yeah, so I'm going to try and find I'm just going to pause the sound there for a second. So we're working to find where my desktop is. Right, okay, so you see here I have a file called command history. If we open that up, that's all my command history from about 2012 to now. So I'm just going to look inside this and we'll see. I just need to find a command from here. Okay, yeah. So there we go. I'm just going to take this command here. Now I'm going to go back into that folder, and we're just going to paste that in there. I'm going to change this. That was that one, wasn't it? Copy. So this is actually me attempting to live glitch this file. So just bear with me while I do this, and then we'll look at the playback of that. So yeah. So the cool thing about Bash is that you can actually paste in a file name. So that's that. And we'll just call that something bizarre like, yeah, live stream. That's far too extreme there. I just want to change the values because I know the type of file this is. If I get the values wrong, it'll just break immeasurably. We don't want that. So, 8. Okay, this is going to take a few seconds to do. So again, as I say, 99% of glitch art is waiting for the computer to finish doing what you're asking it to do. So, where's that gone to? I have to find the actual file now. That was last year. Probably going to be right at the end. Yes, I do have this many files on my computer. Ah, right, okay, now there it is. Now once that's finished. So I'm just, yeah, so that's finished. This is all in delay, so you just have to take this on trust. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to play back that exact file that we did before, and this is what it looks like. Okay. Okay. While we're watching that, I'm just going to reboot the computer in a different operating system. So that's taking the file that we were looking at previously, which I've grabbed from the capture card, and I just need to make sure that's ejected properly. Yeah, okay, right, so now we're just going to savagely reboot this computer. And then we'll go back to that in a second. Let's have some music. Oh, that's a shame. Is that playing again? Yeah, there we go. Skippity, skippity, skippity. Alright, we'll just go back to this one operating system, and then I think 1649, give it a few more minutes, then we'll call a stop and take questions. It's very skippy, isn't it? Skippity, skippity, skippity. It's quite skippy. That's rude. Telling the skippity band that they're not skippity enough. Yeah, it's not very skippity, is it? Let's go a bit more skippity. Right. Okay. You can handle the skippity. Oh, this is one of those early cyberpunk films as well. This is actually a case in point of what I do generally when it comes up. That's very skippity, isn't it? So I've got an echo of skippitiness there in my head. It's kind of tricky working computers and DJing at the same time. I just really can't multitask now. Okay, we'll leave it. I like this one. We'll leave this one on for a second. So this one that we're seeing now is a film where I've actually used a webcam, one of my circuit bent webcams, and pointed it basically at the screen during playback, and that's about as simple as it is. Right. Okay. And for those who weren't here when I started, I'm just going to fire up this other operating system, which is the one I'm mainly researching, which is called Linux Mint Bayer. And we're going to play a black and white movie. And we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we're just going to flick from that display now. So as I say, this video that you're seeing now is done with a circuit bent webcam pointing at just an ordinary playback on a CRT computer, but because of the nature of the way the circuit bending has acted on the actual webcam, you get these wonderful colors, and you can see it's very lo-fi as well. And I like lo-fi as opposed to kind of very high definition stuff. And okay, so I'm just going to open up that application to show this, so you can actually see, and you should see that in a second. And then I think, what's that, 4, 5, yes, then we'll stop once we've seen a bit of this, and I'll take questions. Yeah. So this is playback of the video that we actually downloaded on Monday called I Love Trouble. So as you can see, Legacy OS Mini 4, you get a very clear black and white film, but with silvering and strange patches of colour. Now, this is the same film with a different operating system, and yet it's the same computer, but you get completely different playback. I'll just leave this one running now for... Yeah, it is quite painful. I'll leave this running for another 5 minutes, and then I think we'll stop and take questions then. So I suppose when I'm thinking about using a film in my work, I'm looking at them with these processes in mind. So I'm thinking, how will that look there? How will look that there? Will it work? And again, it's quite astonishing with black and white how much you can actually get out of a black and white film that you just wouldn't expect. Now again, as you saw before, I could take this video, record it as WebM, and then mess with it quite severely. Interestingly, those flashes you'll see in a few seconds are actually damage on the film. So the process is actually highlighting the damage to the original. So here, that point there, yeah, there. So when the music stops, I'll kind of leave the film running in the background, but have the sound ready. Okay. I'll even let you see me as well. Yeah. So hopefully that won't mess up the broadband speed. Webcam sharing locked. Oh, yes. Okay. Hello. Right. So I suppose questions.
Hi, Ian.
Hi, Dina.
Hey. Nice to see you.
Yes. Well, it's because I'm on fiber broadband today, you see, so you can actually see me.
Yeah, I'm grateful the stuff worked. Like, not everybody has to have the fastest internet connection. And I feel this is still an area that needs to be brought up in terms of basic human rights to a connection somehow. But I feel like this worked really well, and I felt really nice to see your work in this way, not in a post custom documentation somehow.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy your documentation. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that the video stream is doing well and I can see you well. Oh, wait. Questions. Oh, I have some questions, but
Yeah.
if anybody has their own. So, I'm sorry. I think I missed the first part. I just wanted to check. Have you been using the same computer but different operating systems
Yes. Yeah.
for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically the same computer, same graphics card, same RAM. Everything's the same. The only thing that changes the 3 times is the operating system. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So
That's lovely.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's all old and recycled as well. So it's nothing fancy. I mean, the
Yeah.
graphics card is a bit of an outlier, but the rest of it is all standard stuff that people throw away, basically.
Yeah, I love this aspect, and I think it's really important that somehow
I
your
can show you.
technique is nomadic in a way. You can plug and play basically
Yeah.
into most equipment. Like if you move a continent, you
Yeah.
can reuse somebody's old computer. You
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
buy the newest or the fanciest equipment,
Yeah.
and still the result is really out of this world.
Well, that's kind of, I suppose, one of my basic beliefs. You should be able to have the most basic equipment that's available to you, and still be able to make glitch art. It's kind of DIY lo-fi aspect of it. I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with very basic knowledge as well. I mean, how to build a computer is not too tricky. It's basically like Lego, is my contention. It's just fitting bits and pieces here together, and learning how to problem solve, I suppose, with them. Yeah, fault finding. Yeah.
So, do you think this type of presentation, like a video conference tool we've been using, was adequate to your work, or were you missing something in the process?
I would have. I mean, it goes back to that question. Well, the thing that you said, the basic human right to have a decent kind of internet connection. I do believe that, but then you have to work with what you have. So I would have liked to have done everything live in real time from the desktop like I'm doing now. But at the same time, to actually do it the way that I did, which was I think I made about 100 little videos and uploaded them up to YouTube, so I could actually pull them in when I needed to and show exactly what I was doing. That worked well as well. I mean, it's just working within the constraints of the connection that I have. So yeah, it works well. It does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
suppose
videos.
That was the long way around the question.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind even if we would have done it in a more conceptual manner. Like it was important for us to have these discussions with you, and it's really, of course, nice to see you work. But we would have also done it even if we wouldn't be able to connect via video, if that makes sense for you. That's for me. So I feel.
The first way I learned to program, I took when I went to school. It was a year before they brought in a big computer lab, and I failed the test for whether you could actually do computers or not, the aptitude test. So I failed that completely, and I basically went into the school library and taught myself how to conceptually program a computer from scratch from a book. And later on, when I got my first computer, which was a Commodore 64, I knew how to program it in BASIC. So it's kind of, I see what you're getting at conceptually. It would have been as easy to do that conceptually as well. So I could offer the concepts that I'm using and break them down in such a way that that could work as well. So I suppose it's hard in our media saturated age to step away from the screen for any length of time and visualize through words or just through saying, I suppose. Yeah,
I feel this having you live every day and being able to communicate on basis of your work and experiments and findings was like super important for this residency, and I would love us to continue in this matter, to be it less presential and somehow like super strictly controlled and more immersive and evolving. And I wanted to thank you again for being our first online resident.
Well, thank you for asking me, because I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, of course. I enjoyed, everybody enjoyed your presentation in Fubar, so we decided we have to do something together further on this subject.
Yeah, definitely, There's a lot more discussion there, isn't there? I can tell.
I'm keeping back, like, not to prolong this discussion right now, but we'll preparing more online events. So if you were free and able to join at any point, I would be super happy. So we can continue. We're gonna have online festival on the topic, like the broad topic of change, because all of us have been in lots of changes this year. And we wanted to open up a discourse to let everybody have a certain space and time to popping up subjects that are of importance to them. So I think we'll have more discussions. Did I miss a spot? Like, did I not ask something super important that we'll think of tomorrow and think, oh, why didn't we discuss this in our talk?
Well, you can always ask me at another time. So.
So, I wanted to check. So you'll put some documentation on your blog site, which we will link in these videos. And we also have everything recorded, which will be up on the HackLab channel, YouTube channel, and on your channels. And how, like, what was the best way to reach you if anybody has any further questions? Like, what's your favorite channel to discuss?
I don't mind either through Facebook or through my email is fine. It's no big deal. I know some people prefer just interacting through text, through email, or Facebook is fine. That's grand. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, thank you.
Thank you. And Vedran, I know how much work you've actually put into getting the whole thing up and running. I mean, just getting the software itself running is quite astonishing.
Yeah, he worked his ass off.
And just working on really complicated things like sound, which don't sound complicated, but I know myself, when you're trying to record audio and get all the levels right and get everything there, and especially over a shonky connection where it might break up, I mean, that's tricky as well. So I do really appreciate all the background stuff as well. It's like, oh, okay, that's a lot of work. Today it will be shonkier, says Vedran. Okay, so shall we kind of exit? Stage left?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we can wrap it up. A few people are typing. Probably they also want to say thank you. We've had a great time, and see you next time, Ian.
It's been really enjoyable. So if you look in the background just before I go, you can see this is actually where I work when I work. So when the emergency isn't happening. So thank you to my boss, because he's a good man as well. Maurizio Martino Daly. He's cool. So okay, so I'll close the room then, shall I? Bye, Chef Pajana. Bye, Dina. Bye, Vedran. Bye, Ikra. And bye, Recordabot. You have done well.